human rights. Jamaican fragment. The author A. L. Henrys says that he learned something even from a little incident. He gave the reason for his walking along the road and how he happened to see the little boys playing in the garden. One morning, the narrator noticed two little boys playing in the garden. One of them was white and the other was dark. They were playing game. In the game, the white boy was walking up down shooting at his playmate. The boy who was dark followed the order given by white boy. The narrator's faith was that in this country Jamaica, all the people blacks and whites live in harmony and they do not distinguish each other with their color and creed. But his faith in his people was shaken when he saw a little white boy enforcing his will upon a little black boy, and the black boy's submission to the white boy made the narrator puzzled. For a whole day he thought deeply on the subject. The next morning, the boys were there again. The black boy and the white boy changed their roles. The black boy was acting as a master and the white boy as his slave. He saw that the black boy was striding imperiously up and down, and white youngster walked by behind him, taking orders from his black master. This made the narrator astonished, and he realized it was just a game. He felt shy for imputing deep motives to children's action in spite of his wisdom and intelligence. A man was watching the boys. The narrator thought the man looked at boys did not understand. The truth of it started explaining the whole thing. The man looked at the writer smiling. He said that the boys were brothers and his sons. He pointed to a black woman and said that she was his wife. The narrator came to the conclusion that grown-ups are silly. He felt proud of his country Jamaica, where the blacks and whites live in solidarity and harmony, where discrimination of no kind is practiced, where all people live in self-respect, respecting other people's rights, where all people enjoy the same rights, where all people are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Vocabulary. Now, let us take the correct meaning. The game, if it could be called a game, was not elaborate. The correct meaning for elaborate is detailed. The little boy strode imperiously up and down. The correct answer for imperiously is proudly. This man, I said to myself, will puzzle all day on whether the blacks will eventually rise and rule the world. The correct meaning for eventually is finally. Could it be that the little dark boy was the son of a servant in the home and therefore had to do the white boy's bidding? The correct answer for bidding is order. Figures of speech. Metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech that describes a subject by asserting that it is some point of comparison the same as another, otherwise it is unrelated object. In simple terms, a metaphor compares two objects or things without using the word like or as. Example, all the world is a stage. Broken heart. Your heart is not only broken into pieces, you just feel hurt and sad. Time is theft. time is not really stealing anything. This metaphor just indicates that time passes quickly and our lives pass us by. Similes. A simile is a figure of speech that compares two things that are alike in some way. Example, as busy as a bee, as black as coal. Similes can make our language more descriptive and enjoyable. Writers, poets, and songwriters make use of similes often to add depth and emphasize what they are trying to convey to the reader or listener. Similes can be funny, serious, mean, or creative. Let us see few examples. He was as brave as a lion. They fought like cats and dogs. He is as strong as an ox. Grammar. The simplest past. Use of the simplest past tense. The simplest past is used to refer to past actions or events. He passed his examination in 2013. I visited Delhi last month. The simplest past form can also be used to refer to the present time with verbs like want, wonder, hope, think, to make more polite or tactful. Let us see some examples. I wanted to discuss my proposal with you, madam. I wonder if I could discuss my proposal with you, sir. Other uses of simplest past form. After the conditional if to indicate tentativeness. Example, I were the Prime Minister, I would provide free education at all levels. After its time, would rather wish. Example, it's 10 o'clock. It's time you went to bed. In reported speech, example, I asked you what the time was. The present perfect. The present perfect tense is used to talk about past actions and events which are completely finished. However, instead of the simple past, the present perfect is used if the action has current relevance. In this case, even though the actions took place of his or her experience and knowledge. Example, I have seen the Taj Mahal. The meaning is, I know the Taj Mahal. It is still fresh in my memory. The present perfect is also used to refer to past actions in the present. Hence, it is called the evidential use of the present perfect. This is called resultative past. Example, it has rained. Evidence, look, the ground is wet. Punctuation. Dash. A dash is longer than a hyphen. It is almost double the size of a hyphen. Dash is used to give very important additional information. They are only used to emphasize certain aspects of what was said earlier. The expressions with the dash is more effective since the dash breaks the thought of the reader and then draws his or her attention to the phrase that follows it. Let us see few examples. He was definitely a little Jamaican, a strong little Jamaican. He was definitely a strong little Jamaican. The next morning, the boys were there again, and a man was standing at the gate watching them. The next morning, the boys were there again, and a man was standing at the gate watching them. The boys were brothers, my sons. The boys were brothers, my sons. Once upon a time. In this poem, the poet Gabriel Okara explains what happens when a traditional African culture meets the forces of the Western way of life. According to the poet, the people once used to laugh with their hearts. Now they only laugh with their teeth. This shows that the people nowadays laugh artificially and they search for the other side of a person. The poet expresses his concern for the influence of the Western world on age-old African custom. He feels that the once enthusiastic and friendly society, but now they began to treat its own people like strangers and looked at each other with suspicion and hostility. The poet says that he has learned many things. He has learned to wear many faces like many dresses: home face, office face, street face, host face, and cocktail face. This means that the poet changed his expression and feelings to suit the situations and needs of the people with whom he is to deal with. The poet also has learned to laugh with only his teeth. If someone laughs with their eyes, we can see their emotions, but teeth, which are hard, white, and expressionless, reveal nothing. But the people's eyes have now become ice block cold, revealing no warmth. He has learned to say goodbye when he really meant good riddance. People say glad to meet you when they wish actually sad to meet. People say it's nice talking to you, but the real meaning is that the talking is not nice at all. What is my name? This is the story of a young woman. She was well educated, intelligent, with a sense of humor and elegance. Because of her beauty and intelligence and the dowry which her father offered, made a young man decide to marry her when she became a housewife. Her husband said, "Look, Amadou, this is your home." She immediately started scrubbing the entire home and decorated the floor. One day, suddenly she asked herself what her name was. The question shook her up. In her scrubbing zeal, she forgot her name, but she couldn't recollect her name. She left the mugu basket. She stood near the window, scratching her head, and tried to recollect her name. She did not know what to do. This very thought made her restless. She asked the servant maid if she remembered her name. The maid said that she only knew that she was her mistress. Then she asked her children. They replied that she was their Amma only. They did not know that she had a name of her own. The neighbors came to invite her to a kumkuma ceremony. She told that they only knew her as pharmaceutical company's manager's wife, but not her by name. At the time of night meal, Mrs. Murthy asked her husband whether he remembered her name. Mr. Murthy laughed at her. He said that since they married, he used to call her Yemoi. She told him name nor objected to his way of addressing. Finally, he told her that there is nothing in a name. He suggested her to choose a name with which he might call her from them on. Going by his advice, she wanted to find her name on her certificates. The certificates were not found. They were at her parents' house. She started searching for her certificates. The certificates were not of much importance to her parents. Along with some they kept on the attic. The search was on. In the meantime, she met Pramila, one of her friends. The friend recognized her and called her by name Sharda. Then her happiness knew no bounds. She came back and fished out her certificates. She found her name on her certificates. She had a name. Sarada was her name. She came back to her home happily. The writer is a humanist who has concern for the status of woman. Then, writer decides to focus on the married woman's identity and self-respect. It is highly impossible for anybody to forget his or her name. The intention of the author is to focus the lack of identity to woman in the society by her name. In the last part of the story, when she returned to her husband's house, she made it clear by saying, "From now onwards, don't call me Amoy Gimoy. My name is Sarada. Call me Sarada. Understand?"
మా వీడియో కనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి. ఇలాంటి మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోవడం మాత్రం మర్చిపోకండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్.